Hey guys, this video is going to be the FLW Toyota Series event on Fort Gibson Lake. I'm actually just going to do day one in this video. I actually was thinking about doing just a full tournament video, but instead I'm going to split them up again. But this is going to be day one. I'm actually going to do something a little bit different in this video. I don't know if you guys watched my practice videos. I'm sure probably some of you did. But right now, if you will, turn back and watch those, or I'll give you a little bit of a rundown, I guess, on what I was doing, which I guess you can watch the end of this video and cheat anyway if you want to, if you're dishonest. But I'm gonna have you guys put in the comments section now and see if you get it right, or actually just see if we'll do the same thing. Put in the comments section what you think I'm gonna do at the start of this tournament after takeoff. My two options are gonna be going down to my fish that were closer to the dam, or going all the way up river and fishing for the fish that I found up there. Now, if you watch my practice videos, you'll be able to see exactly what I was doing in each spot, what kind of fish. But like I said, you can go to the end of the video and you can cheat too, that's fine, but you'll know that you did it. But if you go back and watch, you can choose from there. But kind of a small rundown if you don't have the time or don't want to, whatever. The fish that I had at the lower end of the lake, it was a lot less bites, like a lot less bites. But there were a few bigger bites thrown in there. The fish at the north end of the lake, way upriver, I had a ton of bites, but the fish weren't as big. They were, you know, I was catching some like 2-pounders and stuff, and had one that was like 3, but good fish to fill out a limit with for sure. So I know a lot of guys, you know, do different stuff with this kind of thing, but pretty much it was go for your big fish, and really big chance you won't even get a limit down there, and then go for your limit, or start getting your limit and put some fish in the live well real quick and then go for your big fish. So those are the choices. The big fish, or what I'm calling the bigger fish, were closer to takeoff, but opposite way, and then you had to the way upriver, which were the smaller fish. So go ahead and put that in the comments. Let me know what you would have done. You can also just throw in what you think I'm going to do if it's different, but do that and then we'll start the video. Alright, so starting the video out, what I did, and I was weighing the options quite a bit, but I could, go down river, go up river. I ended up actually right at the start, and what's going through my head at the start of this is I don't know exactly where the crowd's going to be. I know that there's not a whole lot to run through at the up the river, and I've got some stuff down by the dam, so I'm not really sure where all the crowd's going to be. And my boat number was like boat 30, I think, right around there. And at takeoff, I was seeing some, pretty even actually, but there's a lot of real estate before each end of the lake. So I mean, I don't know where all these people are going. So I'm thinking, try to avoid the crowd maybe, but and also what I have in my head is that I can go upriver and fish up there. If things aren't going great up there, I was totally ready to ditch it and go back to the southern end of the lake and just try to get some big bites, and then come back if I had to or something to get my limit, because I had a lot of confidence that I could get a limit up there. I was getting a lot of bites, and I figured I could, worst case scenario, I could make those fish bite somehow, find some way to catch those fish, because it felt like I could get bit up there pretty easy. So I ended up going upriver. I get up there, and I started fishing around, and just pretty quickly, like I said, I kind of had I guess I had a plan to not give it a lot of time. You have I guess spots that you're willing at certain points in the tournament to really give them some time to bite. My plan was to not give the river fish a lot of time in the morning. If they weren't biting very well in the morning, I was gone, and I was going to come back. So I get up there, I go to the first few little spots that that I was really wanting to fish early, and just after a short amount of time, I was not getting bit quick. So I was like, all right, so exactly what I'm not gonna change anything up. I've got some fish at the lower end of the lake, and I can always just I'm just gonna come back. So I take off. I'm going to the southern end of the lake now. So, and it's not that far. It's really not a long run. So that's why I was so willing to just take off. So I make it to the southern end of the lake, and first place I pull up on that I had got my bigger bite or biggest bite on has 4 boats lined up on it, just one after another, all of them just, I mean, working it over. So I passed that up, and I had a few areas down there, not a lot, but I had a few areas that I really wanted to hit down there. So next thing, I start bouncing around. Second spot I went to real quick because I was just like, I can always just run the spot. So I don't know, boat sitting on it. So another one of my spots, boat sitting on it. I was like, okay, looks like my spots down here definitely have some people on them for sure. So I actually just went by one of my areas because I'm big on if there's fish in the area, I can try to get them to bite. So I fished a little bit around one of my areas, and spent a little bit of time down there, or not really a lot of time trying to get them to bite, but I spent some time doing a lot of different things down there pretty fast, and I wasn't getting bit down there very well either. I actually finally got back down to the first spot that I wanted to fish and cycled back to it, and there wasn't anybody on it, and I couldn't get bit there either. So at that point I was just like, okay, so I'm just gonna go upriver because it looked like there was a lot of people cycling through the areas that I really wanted to be in down there, and they had already had the time to to cycle through them by the time I showed up because I had already made the run upriver and came back. So at that point I'm thinking I'm gonna go upriver because that's where I've really got some confidence to get bit. It's not working out for me down here. So I go to run back upriver, and here is the thing that I think a lot of people can learn from. That's why I'm going through this whole day for you guys, because there's definitely some mistakes that can be learned from. At least maybe you guys don't have to experience them to learn from them. So I usually am very good about, if I feel like I'm gonna need to get some gas or something somewhere, I'll make sure they're open. So I went to go back upriver, pulled back into the marina that I needed to get gas from to get back upriver and back, and it was closed. So I had, and from to my knowledge, I might have missed one, but I don't know of anywhere else that there was like any self-service pumps or anything on that lake. So that was my option to go back upriver just got like shut down in the middle of the first day. So that was pretty bad for my game plan for sure, because without that I didn't have, that was pretty, I never would have came back down had I known that gas station was closed. So that was bad. So at that point I know that I've just got to figure out how to get these fish down there to bite, and possibly find some new ones, I don't know. So next thing I do is there was a marina that and in one of the marinas there was literally this dock corner I came back to a few times, and you could just, it was, for whatever reason, you could get bit on it. There was that little sweet spot in the marina, and I don't know who the guy was. He was in the tournament, but if I still have the footage, I'm not sure if I actually deleted it when I was deleting my, some of my day one footage. I'm not sure if I deleted it or not, but I don't know if the guy made a mistake. Usually you can tell pretty well if somebody is making a mistake by cutting you off, because they will acknowledge it, or they might make eye contact with you. Like this guy wouldn't even look at me while he was doing what he was doing. But I'm going to pull into this marina, and I don't have what I had been, flipping around a lot of docks, this little shaky head tied on. So as I'm cruising in there, I stop, get off pad outside the marina, and I'm trolling towards the left front side of it, and out of nowhere, this dude comes flying, goes around the back side of me, loops around, and just, sat down and started in like right in front of me. And lo and behold, I'm, still thinking, surely this guy's not like blatantly cutting me off this bad, but he did. And I'm like, okay, so I kind of trolled up and maybe, making the point, which I'm not a guy that's gonna, I guess, argue with the guy during a tournament. You can argue with somebody all you want if they think that they were, going there, and once they have already cut you off, your odds of getting them to not cut you off anymore is, they're not going to move. There's no point in getting yourself all fired up over it or anything. I'm just, I'm going to make sure that they understand that's where I was going. If they don't acknowledge that they made a mistake, and especially in this case, won't look back to see the boat that has trolled up, right behind them, and he wouldn't even make eye contact with me. So I go around the opposite way, and again, this is a point, I guess, that I guess you're sometimes rewarded for making decisions like that, to not get into some type of conflict or something in the middle of a tournament. Just don't even argue with them. They know what they're doing. I go around, and I was like, whatever, I know there's fish in this marina. And to throw in on there, he broke off a fish, and then his co-angler caught one that was about 2 pounds off that dock corner. So another reason to kind of throw me off a little bit, but I was like, I know that there's fish in here. So I go around the other side of the marina, and I actually ended up catching one. My co-angler caught one that was a short, but I'll throw that footage here. Probably about to get on it.
Yeah, but that's just the douchebag.
It's close. Please be 14. Please be 14. Yes. Broke the ice.
Yeah, but was he right in the stall, or was he?
No, he's out here.
Right.
Let me lock him. So that fish was good because at that point I didn't even have a keeper, but I catch that fish barely, it's like a 14.5 incher. So at least at that point now I have a fish, and I commenced to just run a lot of stuff. I fished everything I could possibly think to fish, and I don't know what really what I did necessarily wrong to not get bit that day, because I know that I was doing things that that I should have been somehow running into some fish with. I don't know, just it was one of those things. I threw a bunch of stuff in the right areas, I feel like, and I can say that my co-angler wasn't with me during practice, but by the end of that day, he was convinced that a lot of the people in the tournament probably zeroed, because just the incidence of fishing, and we fished pretty hard. Not really, we fished really hard. All day on that lower end, and it just didn't pan out. And it definitely sucks after having what I felt like was a pretty decent setup for the tournament, practice-wise. going into that and having a first day that turns out the way that one did, but it did. I ended up only weighing in that one fish. And I'll throw in my other fish that I caught. That's right, I caught 2 fish this entire first day. Here's the second one.
Yep. Hit. I got him. Yeah, 13-incher. Yep, 13.
And that fish was, you know, it was obviously a short. It was a little bitty one. That was 2 fish I caught the entire day. One off a shaky head, one off a spinner bait. Both of them were off docks, but just I couldn't get on anything. So I don't know really what caused that to happen, but I mean, I pretty much ran everything. If you watch my practice videos, I ran a lot of different things like that. I didn't leave anything off the table though. I switched it up through some top water, different things, just nothing. So anyway, second day of the tournament, I will do the same thing. So if you haven't watched my practice videos yet or anything, try to watch this next tournament video that I'll have, which will be day 2, and I'm gonna have pretty much, I'm gonna let you at the start of the video, or again, you can cheat if you want to, I guess, but comment what you think I'm gonna do to start out day 2. I can tell you day 2 went a lot better, which is pretty easy to beat what happened on day 1. But next video will be day 2. Leave a comment, let me know what you thought about this video. If you haven't already posted what you thought I was going to do going up the river or staying down the lake. But next video is day 2. After the next video, I will be on Sam Rayburn for the next event, so I'm hoping that one goes a lot better. Luckily I made up a little bit of ground on day 2 of this event, but the video that'll be out soon. Just subscribe to my channel, let me know what you think about the video, leave a like, and be ready for the next one to come out. Thanks for watching.